Hi, now I'm going to show you how to create a SQL statement, and then we're going to run the SQL statement. So I create the statement and execute it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a string variable. So this is a normal string, and I've got to now put a valid SQL clause in quotation marks in the string variable. So you've got to make sure that your select statement is exactly correct. And if you're not sure, you can run it in MySQL first before you actually copy it into the Java class, because you want to make sure that it's 100% correct. So this is a very simple example, and I'm not going to it's not necessary for me to test that because I know it's going to be correct. However, you might want to run it first in MySQL before you put it into Java, because the Java is not going to find errors for you in your SQL. Or well, it will, but only once you execute it. So while I'm still compiling, the computer sees this, or my Java sees the SQL statement as a simple string, and it doesn't interpret to find out if you've got any errors here in your SQL. So you've got to make sure it's correct. Okay, and now it's very simple. I'm going to say statement that execute query, and I use that SQL in the brackets. Okay, but now you'll see the result set that's being returned is going to be of a result set object. I'm going to call it RS, and as I do the Control and Shift and O, the computer puts that result set import in for me. So, and that execute query will now go and run my query for me. Once I've done that, I've got a where clause while rs.next. I guess you've got round brackets for your next method, and then you've got round brackets for your while. And the rs.next is a pointer it will find out for you if you've got more records in the result set. And then what I now do is, in order to reach the values that I've extracted, okay, so this result set will be many rows because I might have many products on my products table. So because I might have many rows, I want to loop row by row through the result set. So that is why I've got the while loop. And now for every row, I want to get to the product name and I want to get the price. Now I've got to go rs, which is my result set object, dot get string, and then in the brackets I've got to use the exact column name that is on my table that I've also used in my SQL statement. Okay, and then the next one is rs.getDouble. Okay, because on my database my price is a double or real or float, so I've got to do it with a getDouble. Okay, and I've got to use exactly the column name that I've got in the database. And if I want to save those values for later use, then I've got to put it in a variable that's of the correct data type. So here I've got string pn equals rs.getString for the name and the same for the price, and then I just print them and then I close. Okay, so that is how you do a simple select statement. So when I use this execute query from my statement object, okay, this execute query is for SQL select clauses, okay, not for insert, update, delete, etc. It's only for the select clauses. I'll show you how to do the others in a minute. So that is how you do a simple select. So you've got to while loop through the result set.